I think the people who actually get results, and I feel like I've said this exact speech like a million times, but I feel like it warrants mentioning for sure, no matter how many times I say it. But the people who actually make results and get gains, make moves, they're the guys who not only train hard and consistently. That's the fucking biggest aspect there is. Whether or not you've got good genetics, shit genetics, a good training style, maybe kind of a less than optimal training style, you're never going to get shit if you're not doing this shit on a consistent basis for a long-term, time frame. But the people who can get a training style or a routine, I mean, not even a training style, but just can get themselves into a routine that they actually like, that they can actually kind of stick with, then honestly, that's a pretty big part of the puzzle right there. We've all got a pretty reasonable potential to get good at kind of anything. I think if I dropped everything right now, bodybuilding wise, and I tried to become a fucking, I don't even know. What other cool endeavors are there out there? If I tried to fucking shrink down and become a professional, like, X Games style snowboarder, if that was my deal, I think I could do it. And I think with enough practice, anybody could fucking do that shit, But that's not my deal. I probably don't want to do that. So even though we've all got a reasonable potential to do whatever, I think the people who can sort of, and this may just be luck, but if you can match a little bit of your latent ability with something that you become passionate about, then right there, this is the fuel and this is the spark. Right? It's fucking killer. So I think I may have at least gotten a little bit of that, because I feel like a total, what's the word I'm trying to think of here? Well, just a fucking gym rat. I've never had a problem going in, every day for the last like 5 fucking years just because I love it. But I think I also have pretty good genetics. So those two things in tandem, it's fucking badass. So this is one thing which kind of, I'm tapering towards the end of the talk, don't worry, this won't go on forever. But this is one thing that it does upset me a little bit. I mean, maybe not, yeah, I think upset's a pretty good word. Due to, well, not dudes, I guess anybody. I haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure the female viewership percentage is still at like 4 point something percent. But, people who don't have something which they like doing on a consistent basis, like, I mean, an everyday fucking, even just hobby level, even just something that they can kind of work at and get better at or just enjoy doing, that doesn't revolve around just like, going out, having fun, going to work, going to school, and isn't just like pure entertainment. I don't think 2 hours of young Sheldon does not count as a hobby. You're not really, I don't know if you're really progressing. You're not going to become the world's best young Sheldon viewer. And then just as a little anecdote, I think young Sheldon's pretty fucking funny. I just use it as a overall, encompassing show to represent wasting your time watching TV. But if you don't have something which you can just do on your own because you enjoy it and you enjoy doing it, then I think you're missing out, man. Everybody needs something. So I guess that's kind of, it's a little bit pretentious for me to say, like, oh, just pick something that you like doing. But if you feel like you don't have anything like that, then I think life can get pretty monotonous. Like, if you just go to work or go to school and then you come home and you don't do shit, fuck, man, I think your days are going to bleed into each other. And don't forget, we've only got so many. That shit is running out. So fast forward 20 years. Fast forward even 1 year. Are you going to look back at your time and think, man, I probably should have done anything. Insert anything. If you know that in a year you think you're going to say, okay, I probably should have been doing this. Or, man, I probably shouldn't have been doing this so much. Look, man, that is not a good feeling to have. I was about to try to say some kind of cool quote, but you can't undo time. So really all I'm trying to say is maybe, well, this is just getting into sort of basic motivational speech, what territory. But find something you like doing, do it on a consistent basis, get good at it. Do you see that deer? I need a fucking 360 cam on the outside of the car so that whenever a deer runs in front of the fucking car, I can like flip to that and show you. But yeah, if you have something that you like, I think you're gonna have more fun in general. That's what I'm trying to say there. So, no more chit-chatting. Dude, you've got to treat your fucking training like you're out of this world in a goddamn fictional reality. Because if you're approaching this shit with a realistic mindset, I mean, dude, you're only going to get realistic results. And for the most part, I'd say the word realistic is very easily equated with just fucking average, with just fucking mediocre, with a run-of-the-mill, a baseline. Dude, that just fucking sucks. And the reason I say that is because, I mean, the working out, like I think everybody should have one specific thing, or maybe a couple of things, you know, whatever, but at least one where you can really dive into it. You're working hard at it because you like it and you're getting good at it. Like, specific proficiencies don't only like make you really good at that one thing. The action of fucking, you know, developing skills, regardless of what they are, it translates into your approach to everything else, and it just makes you a cooler fucking guy. You know, I mean, how many dudes do you know where their most fucking, you know, deep knowledge is like what vape store has the cheapest, like bulk bubblegum juice, right? I mean, I'm not going to say that's maybe worthless information, but I'd rather know a little bit more about the training. But not to get off topic here, everybody needs something like that. So whatever it is, whatever that is, you know, dive into it head first. No holds barred, go nuts. But with the training, or with anything physical to do with your body, that's not something which you can walk into the same way that you do anything else. I mean, there's a certain, like, just energy, because you're being physical. Like, anybody can just grab a few weights or put 2 plates on a Smith machine and like do a couple of reps of squats and whatever, you know, maybe you'll get some minor fucking hypertrophy induced muscle fatigue from doing like an RPE 1 set. So RPE, rate of perceived, dude, I bet my blood sugar is low from legs. Rate of perceived exertion. That's a pretty standard sort of way to gauge a set. 10 means you maxed out. 0 means you didn't fucking try at all. And I think there's a lot of fucking sets out there that are below a fucking 3. Like, just going through the motions, whatever. To expect any gains like that, I would say, is fucking beyond foolish. Now, I think the guys who are doing sets like that, they might not admit it, and maybe even deep down, they don't necessarily know it consciously, but they don't fucking want it. They do not want it. So that's where, when it comes to your actual sets, and this does not have to be the whole fucking workout, you know, in between sets, if I walk up to the front desk to get some water, I mean, I'm going to be fucking goofing around like a goddamn Discord comedian, right? Like, I'm talking, go up to the front desk guy and say, hey, can I check the lost and found? I'm looking for my Jelker. Like, just say some stupid shit, whatever. But I don't want to let that take away from the seriousness of the set-by-set work that's actually being done. So, you know, regardless of whatever kind of goofing or talking or just chilling that you're doing, when it comes to each of your working sets, dude, you have got to go nuts. I'm talking no outside thoughts. Like, I don't even think, I was definitely not thinking words when I was doing those squats and those sets of hip press. There were no tangible words or cohesive thoughts in my mind. All it was like, like, you know how you can hear your own thoughts when you think words, right? I was thinking like just a fucking goddamn roar, like just, you know. And the reason why I say that is because you just can't do a set to the fucking level of exertion that's necessary for serious gains with a perfectly level and calm approach. I think to even try to do that is just an undermining of the fucking underlying situation that lifting is. The harder you go, the better gains you'll fucking get. And, you know, like most things, the more gains you want, the harder it's going to be to get them, the less people will want to actually fucking do it. How far can you think ahead? You know, how far are you thinking ahead in terms of what you're actually fucking capable of? You know, and I feel like in any crazy fucking endeavor, if you were to look at somebody and think like, oh man, would I be able to do what that guy's doing? Fuck. Typically, what somebody's gonna say is like, oh, I don't know if I've got a, you know, I don't know if I've got the hand-eye coordination for something like that, or like, oh, I'm not really a numbers kind of guy, or whatever. It's like, anybody that's doing anything crazy cool compared to somebody who's never done it before, maybe 99 times out of 10, the guy watching is kind of gonna attribute somebody else's success to just like random ass fucking, you know, schmosh. I don't know what I'm trying to say there. Just random ass, uncontrollable circumstance and luck. You know, I mean, that's pretty classic, right? Nobody's gonna look at somebody who's fucking shredding on the guitar in front of 100,000 people on stage and think, wow, that guy must practice a lot. That guy must really put a lot of time into that. They're just gonna think, holy fuck, that guy's fucking, I could never do that. And that's kind of a cheat code. The fact that that's the case, I think, is kind of a cheat code to get yourself hyped up, because it's just not the right way to go about it. Right? Looking at somebody in their end state compared to you in your beginner state is the craziest fucking thing you could ever do in the world. And now, sure, it can give you something to kind of aim towards, but that, you know, that's crazy talk. So the way I look at it, in any field, right? In any field, I mean, when we see the statistics where it's like a TikTok post and it's like only 1% of people in the entire world can bench 315. Are you gonna join the 1%? It's just, you know, random silly shit like that. And that's not silly, but yeah, sure. Like, even if that statistic is correct, it's not the whole story. That's not the whole fucking story. You know, if you were to actually get a much more accurate sort of view of the situation, sure, whatever. And this number's probably not true, but let's just play along with it. Let's say 1% of the world can bench 315. I'm not saying that's the point of anything, but let's follow me here. Maybe that's true. What percentage of the world are even trying? 10? Maybe 10? And then, what percent of the world are even trying and actually putting like a real effort into it? You know, what? Cut that number down to 5. Cut that number down to 3. And then what percentage guys are actually, you know, interested in locking in for more than 6 months at a time and actually going to lock into their diet and actually care about their training and make adjustments and consistently fucking push it on the regular? That number probably comes down to 1%. The guys with results are not just magically the guys with results drawn out of a fucking hat. It's the guys who have put in the amount of time necessary to get those results. And the whole point of what I was just saying there was like, well, how many people are even trying? And like, okay, these guys are actually trying. These guys are actually trying hard. And this small percentage is actually doing everything that they can and optimizing every little bit of their routine to make sure that they're on track to whatever their given goal is. That percentage is so small. So when I look at that and when I think about things like that, all that's telling me is, okay,